Good morning. Happy Monday, my sweet firefly. How are you today? Why do I love these lives so much? I love them because I get to be with you and I get to share my little downloads that I've been getting. And that's why I love these lives. So, when things aren't perfect is the topic of this beautiful, wonderful space we get to be in today. So, um, I wanted to blow dry my hair before I got on here. There was gardeners right outside. When I wanted to go live, I had a few like website issues this morning. So, there's definitely times where things do not go according to plan, and what to do when that happens, and not to make it mean much is really what I've discovered. But the thing is like I could have not come live. I could have been like, oh, I don't feel good, or there's too much noise, or I got to go take care of this other thing. But I've committed to making a promise to you to show up here at 11 a.m. every Monday. So that takes precedent over any kind of mood or setback or anything of that nature. So my point for you here today is there's no such thing as perfect. Hardly ever. There's such thing as flow, which is great. Like when you're in flow and everything just kind of like lines up and flows into place. But we're having this wonderful human experience. There are limitations. There is space, time, and matter in which we are playing within. And so things don't always go according to plan. But you know what you do? You show up anyways and you do the dang thing. So I'm sure you can think of a myriad of things in your life right now that are like, well, I need a haircut, or I haven't done my makeup yet, or I haven't blown dried my hair, or it's too loud, or the kids are in the room, or after I finish X, Y, and Z, the laundry, the chores, the emails, the accounting, whatever the case may be, then I'll go live. Then I'll do the thing. Then I'll launch the program. Then I'll start my personal brand. Then I'll get out there. I'm telling you, it's a farce. It's a farce. It's just another reason for you to hold yourself back. And let me just tell you something. The entrepreneurial journey is definitely not a straight line. It's got twists, it's got turns. It looks more like this. And so, if you can continue to show up and be consistent despite all the craziness that's going to come into your life, and really remember that this is for fun, that we're doing this to enliven our own lives, enliven the lives of others, and that it's not so freaking serious. It's not that serious. We get to play, we get to have fun, we get to do it because it feels good. We get to show up and be in our brand and showcase our magic because it feels good. And when it doesn't feel good, then you just got to look, okay, where's the disconnect here? How am I creating this reality for myself right now? And what needs to change? Because you have all the power, my friend. So don't ever sit in your seat or stand in your walkway and think, I'm at a loss. I have no choices. It is not true. You always have a choice. You create your own life. You create your own business. You create your own brand. You create your own reality. You are choosing each step of the way how you want to show up. So when the shit hits the fan, pardon my French, when it gets hard, when it's not perfect, when things don't perfectly align, which more often than not they won't, you still come to the table because there is a feast, my friend. There's a feast at that table. You still come to the table and you show up and surprise yourself on what's possible. So, and I'm like, who gives a crap? It doesn't all need to be perfect. Is boring. It's so boring. When everything's like tip top and right on, then you don't, it's just boring. So don't let that stop you, is all I'm saying. Do not let any little imperfection, little anything like getting in your way stop you from going live, from being present. So don't let any of this stop you. If anything's coming to mind right now that is like, oh, but it's not perfect yet, tell me. We're even launching another site for a client, and it's like, oh well, this could be different. This you could go. It's like artistry. Like you could keep painting the painting forever. It will never be done. It'll never be ready. You'll never be ready, and you don't have to be ready to start. You don't have to be ready to launch. You don't have to be ready to do the next thing. Just do it. And that creates the readiness. When you just jump in, dive in, and go, that is the readiness that you need. So again, it's like the background of your video might not be perfect. Who cares? People are just people. People are doing their best. They want to see the real, authentic you each and every time. And if that means there's like a sock on the floor or an Amazon package behind you, I mean, do what you gotta do, but don't let that stop you. Don't let the noise outside. Don't let the noise in your head. I got an email this morning. It was like, your quiz is terrible. I laughed because it's okay. Not everyone's meant to like you. Not everyone's meant to like your stuff. I mean, I quite frankly don't have time. When I don't enjoy something, I don't really have time to like tell the person about it. It's like, it's just, all I know is like, it's not a good fit for me. So we got this email this morning. It was like, your quiz is terrible. I can only imagine how terrible your paid stuff is. I was like, wow, okay, I made it. I got trolls. I got haters. I love it. It's just proof that I'm doing something, right? And proof that you're up to things too and getting visible. So that's another thing. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Every single step on the way. It's not, okay, next, okay, next, okay, next. It's like, okay, good job, me. Good job, team. Good job, everybody. And then we can move on to the next thing. So what to talk about in a live? Okay, so this is a big one that I always get. So we'll just address that too. There's probably a little bit of perfection syndrome going on, like, oh, I have to say the perfect thing. I have to have it all written out or lined up or scripted or some version of that, right? The question you need to answer is, what do people ask me all the time? Or what do they want most? What's a question, even from your friends, that you get asked all the time and that you could easily answer in your sleep? Tell me what that would be. And you ask yourself the same question, whoever's listening. What is it? So what is it that I get asked all the time? And then also, like, what's bubbling up inside of you? So there's two approaches that I like to take before I go live as well. So it's either like, what am I going through right now? Because I know I'm not the only one. What's personal is universal. If I'm going through it, likely someone in the universe is going through it too. No offense to anybody, but I'm not that special. Like, I'm not the only one experiencing whatever trials and tribulations that I'm going through. And neither are you. Like, whatever you're going through is probably going to be applicable, significant, relatable to your audience. So that's one approach. What are you going through that you could share? And so for me, it was like, I could have stopped myself from going live because I wanted my hair to be dry and I wanted the gardener to stop blowing. And then I had a website issue, a couple of them actually. And there was other things I was dealing with that were kind of the moment. But I'm like, it's 11 a.m. I gotta hop on. And you know what? All that stuff will be waiting for me when I'm done here, giving to you. So that's one approach. Like, don't let it stop you. So that's why I'm sharing this message. Like, things don't need to be perfect. Like, you can just pop on and just be your authentic self. And that's what people are desiring. And the other approach is, what do I keep getting asked? Like, what do my clients keep coming to me with? Like, what questions keep coming up? I'm like, wow, I've heard that 3 times in the last week from people I've been around that relates to what I'm up to. And answer that question, because again, that one client or those couple of clients, they're not the only ones experiencing that question. They're just the ones that were brave enough to ask it. So there's probably hundreds of people asking the same question but feel that they already need to know the answer and they just didn't have the courage to ask it. So if you answer it, you're really helping so many people. How am I still sane while raising 4 daughters? That's probably the question you ask yourself. What question are your clients asking you? And really, that's relatable as well. Be like, I often ask myself, how am I still sane after raising 4 daughters? How do I still create a life of dazzle after raising 4 daughters? And it might not be 4 daughters for you. It might be like 7 careers or 3 sons or after a debunked marriage or whatever the case may be. And so let me share with you how I am still sane after raising 4 children. Share that with your audience and just tell the truth. Like, here's what I've done. I've really, here, like, and think of the 4 ways that 4 daughters, 4 ways. Like, so think of the 4 ways that you've been able to do that and share those tips with your audience. How does that relate? Is that something you could share that would be relatable to your audience? Tell me. Because even if it's like off from your, particular zone of genius, it's still relatable. Or how does it relate back to your product? Or how does it relate back to your business? That's what you always want to think of. So even though the topic might be different than your specific niche, you can always relate it back to your business and to your product and share. There's people in your space that are giving you feedback always. And if you're hearing things all the time, like, that's what I would go live about until you do have clients. Or think of an ideal client. Like, I would love to work with this person. Let me imagine what their question would be, or let me ask them what their question. Like, if you had to sit down to coffee with me and ask me one question, and we could have a chat about it, what would it be? Like, poll your audience, ask people around you. Don't hesitate to ask for help from your own people. Like, Rebecca, let me just do it now. If you could ask me any question right now, and we were sitting down to a cup of coffee or tea or wine or kombucha, whatever your lovely self would want, what would you ask me? It's as simple as that. Or ask your Instagram audience, or ask your Facebook audience, or email a couple of people that you know that you would be like, oh, they would be a cool client. And ask them this question. If you sat down to coffee with me, what question would you ask me? Because I want to answer it. I want to be there for you. And you just make it that simple, my friends. So my whole point is, you got what you need. There is no, like, let's kind of abolish the question mark. Again, confusion is a defense. Staying in confusion, and it's my favorite one. That's why I always bring it up. Staying in confusion is a defense mechanism. I don't know. Well, what if you did know? I have a 7 steps to finding my dazzle that I've been working on turning into a workbook. Okay, so just share one step right now on an Instagram live or on a story. Do it. And this is, it's really like, what are you passionate about? What's going on in your life? What's going on with you that you have like an excitement about? Share that. See how simple, it's almost like, well, that was easy. It has to be harder. There's no nobility in struggling, you guys. There's no nobility in making it harder. Go for the easy way. Like, go where the flow is. Like, if you could just wake up in the middle of the night and someone was like, you need to put on a presentation about this. You're like, okay, I got it. I could talk about this in my sleep. Share those. Start there. Especially because the first couple times going live are a little bit harder. Only because you've just never done it before. It's just like working out a muscle. You're like, oh my God, I can't do another rep. Well, it's just because you're strengthening a muscle. That's it. It's not more complicated than that. So talk about the things you love. Talk about the things you're passionate about. You can even share a funny story like, oh my God, you guys, I don't know. I don't have one this morning, do I? No, I don't. No funny stories this morning. Although I will just share with you, I managed to get my booty in bed at 9:30 p.m. last night, which I have not done in a very, 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 very long time. I've been staying up way too late lately, and I just love that feeling of waking up early when it's quiet, before the hustle and bustle, before, my husband and I just love that alone time, and the world is more quiet. So I went to bed at 9:30. I woke up at 6:15. Let's be honest. I was like, not yet, almost. Woke up at 6:15, got a just great night's sleep. And just being in that peace and that quiet in the morning was so beneficial. So if that's something you've been craving of carving out for yourself as well, I'm just sharing this story with you to inspire you. I would do that for yourself. Really carve out some peaceful time. Get whomever you need in your stratosphere on board to help you. If you have children, or if that's difficult to do, maybe you need to leave the house and go. Even I don't care if it's in your car. I've done that. I've left my house, sat in my car, opened the sunroof, just looked up at the trees, whatever it takes, you guys. It doesn't have to look perfect. It doesn't have to be this full blown out spa day. It can be whatever you want it to be, or whatever is available in that moment. But don't wait, because then we get all tapped out and drained, and it's no fun that way. So don't wait for things to be perfect. Just go live now. Share yourself, share your brand, share your message, share your love. Love, 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 because that's what the world needs right now. It needs more of you. It needs more of your good stuff. It needs more of your heart, your sweetness, your excitement, your care, your awareness, your passion, your presence. That's what the world needs more of right now. Not less of you, more of you. Let the love have a higher voice. Let the good people of the world really shine bright right now. And have fun. Just share what you want to share. And there's no perfection around it. You don't have to be buttoned up. If you blubber over a word, who cares? Everybody blubbers over a word. I say, I'm like, wait, that's not what I meant. It just be like, oh, whoops, that's not what I meant. Here's what I meant, and it's fine. People appreciate authentic, real people, not perfect people. They don't exist, you guys. It doesn't exist, so stop waiting for it. That's all I have to share. See, that didn't make any sense. I blubbered my words. So that's all I have to share with you today. I hope this was helpful. So whatever perfection you're waiting for, bye-bye. Just go do the dang thing. I love you all so very much. And keep sharing your comments. If you're listening to the replay, share with me what you got out of this. And really ask your questions, leave your comments. If you ask a question in the comments, I will address it on the live for you. Don't wait. It's never going to be perfect. You don't want it to be perfect anyways. That's boring. So go out there, live your life, live your brand, and I can't wait to see you again soon.